Welcome back to another episode of the Legionnaire podcast, everybody. I got two special guests, one returning guest from episode one, Grant, aka Trex, and we got another special guest, Shawn, aka Campfire, or aka Mr. Ultra Awesome, on his Twitter, various names. So if you haven't got a chance, go ahead and go to Twitter and follow them. But we got a couple of stories, a couple of things to talk about tonight. Things to go over that have happened pretty big in the entertainment industry, and just a couple things that are niche things that Call of Duty players like and just kind of discuss. But I actually have it set up better so that way everybody knows what the topics are compared to previous times where we were just kind of winging it, me and Grant going off on a tangent as per usual. All right. So Shawn, go ahead and first and foremost, since you're new, you go first and tell me a little bit about yourself so that way the stream knows.
My name's Shawn. I'm a gamer, long time. First time on the podcast, so excited.
All right, and Grant, you might not need introductions, but go ahead. Why not?
What, I have to do it again?
Yeah, why
name's
not,
Grant.
man?
I'm a gamer as well. Been gaming. Oh God, I feel old when I say this, but it's almost 20 years now. It's almost 20 years. Oh wow. And I'm also a nerd.
Like a
and
fossil.
I have no problems in saying that, but I'm a massive nerd.
All right.
Boys.
All right. Appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out. We were gonna do I was gonna try to do it a little bit earlier on in the week, but a couple things here and there happened, so I couldn't really get around to doing it. Scheduling conflicts with the guy over here. Yeah, I'm a point over. But anyways, that's not totally on him. So, all right. Our first topic is WandaVision. Everybody in here watches it, and we all have nerdy vibes when it comes to WandaVision. Last week was weird. I'm not going to lie. It was a little weird. Just because Vision basically almost dying just to try to figure out what's beyond Westview. That was kind of heartbreaking that he almost died. And then her basically pushing the Hex out even further and making basically kind of like Warzone thing where they just create whole new like places of interest, like what was it, the carnival?
Yeah, and then they did the car sales place, right?
Yeah.
Versions of like that time period.
Yeah.
Just expanded.
Yeah. Now, all right. So there's a lot of stuff going around on Twitter right now. Like I was looking today, and Reed Richards was trending on Twitter, and I was just like, wait a minute, what does that mean? But apparently, people are like saying that maybe tomorrow's episode is gonna be. It's probably gonna say something about Reed Richards, which I don't think so. I'll be honest with you, I don't think it would. That'd be kind of weird for them to do. But if they do it, I mean, that's cool. They already brought what's his face's Quicksilver in there. I can't remember his actual name, which is bad.
PHR.
Yeah, well, no, not the actor that played him.
The one from
Peter Evans. Yeah, Peter Evans.
Yes.
Yeah. So they brought him in as the current Quicksilver / recast. So I could see them doing that, but I think everybody in this room is in agreement that if they don't put John Krasinski and Emily Blunt as Invisible Woman, I think we're all going to be pretty shitty on that one. I'm not gonna lie, I'll be pretty mad. So
I'll go ahead and say it right now. If they don't, I mean, Feige's done us a disservice for like probably one of the first times.
Yeah. Except for Thor 2.
Yeah, but it's like one of those ones that has to be done, right, Cal? You have to sit there and watch it because it has to be done. I mean, it could have been made better, but it just has to be done.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain fan expectations that you kind of have to give in for the fans, and if fans are pretty accurate when they not in typecast, but when they cast somebody. So for them to just be like, hey, this is who we want, not because we think it'd be cool, but because they're perfect for the role. for the same reason why Ryan Reynolds, one, he loves the character of Deadpool, but seeing him in that role, I mean, he's always been a jokester, even, you know, all the way back to like Van Wilder. So, you know,
And also, before all that, in the comics back in the day, they said that he looked like Ryan Reynolds.
you're right.
Yeah.
The same thing with Nick
Yeah.
Fury from the Ultimates,
They
comics.
said he looked like Sam Jackson.
Well, no, the creator of the Ultimates actually came out and said that their inspiration for Nick Fury in the Ultimates was Sam Jackson, like hands down. And I was like,
Well,
oh,
because
that's pretty
in
cool.
the originals, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Wasn't he completely different in the originals?
Yeah, in the originals, he was
like a
he had like Reed Richards sideburns, like they were white. He had like he had that tight ass shield agent outfit on with way too many pockets because, you know, 90s be 90s and shit like that. So yeah.
both versions were still pretty badass.
Do what?
I said both versions were still badass.
Oh yeah, most def.
Yeah.
I mean what he's doing. I just never liked the '90s version of comics because they like between Rob Liefeld coming out and basically he gave us Deadpool, but him like putting pouches on every single square inch of a costume, I thought that was horrible. I always did, and I always will because it's just like that doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, so that's my theory as far as tomorrow's episode. Or the season finale. Does anybody else have any theories on what's going to go on tomorrow?
The show's been so unpredictable so far.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. Because the thing with Pietro, has Wanda. Do you think she's created him, or do you think that she's Do you think that she's taken the other Quicksilver and given him?
Well, okay. So me
Pietro's
and Shawn have talked about this a little bit, and the idea that she's able to warp reality, like, all right, so is it Monica? It's Monica, right? It's not.
Yeah.
Okay,
Monica Rambeau.
Right.
Monica
I
Rambeau,
can't remember what her Maria Rambeau was her mom.
Yeah,
So like she.
I have a theory on that too.
Go ahead.
She said she went in twice and it was changing her cells. So it's kind of making me think that everybody inside that area, you know, it's expanding.
Yeah.
People within that, it's changing their cells too, and that's probably where mutants come from.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, because didn't they say like this is like the energy that she's creating inside is the energy.
Birth of the universe.
Yeah, it's the same energy that
background radiation.
Yeah, so
What
like
sort
kind of
of-
like antimatter, in a sense.
What sort of part did Monica Rambeau play in the comics?
She was God. What was she? All right, so
Her
Monica.
name.
Yeah, hold on. She actually had. She actually turned into a superhero. I can't remember what her name is.
At least.
Monica Rambeau. But that's why everybody's like showing pictures. Monica Rambeau. Let's see. What did she play? Okay, that doesn't. Oh, I spelled Rambo all wrong. Apparently, it's French. My bad. Whoops. Okay, so in the comics, her alias is. Wait. They call her Daystar. No, that's not it. Is it Photon?
Yeah, it's Photon.
Okay,
I
yeah.
remember. Yeah.
They had another one in there too, but yeah, like. So yeah, I mean, she can. I could see her basically getting powers, kind of like that.
Eventually, she's probably going to get powers, because that was what I was curious about. Because obviously, you know, with the whole cell changing, I was like, well, they have to bring in mutants some way. And I was thinking about it last episode. I was like, maybe this is the way they do it.
Yeah.
But then it was like one of Professor X's big thing is it's like a lot of it is children. A lot of the X-Men is children. So
you think they're gonna do like a was it a new X like a I'm not gonna say Young Avengers like because they already did the new mutants in the movie.
It's not canon to Marvel though.
Yeah, but that's
still Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
It was
so
technically still Fox. It's not set in the
right,
MCU. Um,
right.
I was, I mean, in all fairness, they could just take a lot of the cast from X-Men anyway, because they're all young.
Yeah,
The majority of them are young. Um,
yeah. I think Patrick
I
Stewart. I don't know if he'd be willing to go back in, but I
well,
did
I,
he
like.
already
I don't think it's
well
going
he
to be
already
Patrick
said
Stewart.
he did already say he would be, but he said he wouldn't do it without
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman as
Yeah,
Wolverine. Yeah,
I mean, I like
which
was it James McAvoy? I like his
yeah,
iteration of
no,
it.
I do, I do like him as a young Professor X as well because when you watch it, he's kind of almost base like the way he goes through his eras of Charles Xavier. He's almost kind of getting to the point where he is Patrick Stewart. Um, I don't know where he's going. But yeah, it's one of those things where I wouldn't be
Don't mind
annoyed
me.
if they turn around and one of the big reveals in this season of WandaVision was Magneto and it was Michael Fassbender. I wouldn't be annoyed.
Yeah, but Michael
I think
Fassbender was such a weird like cast. I'm not gonna lie, he was such a weird cast for Magneto.
Well, I, one, I think they were trying to get a good actor for it because, again, it's like you're trying to line up a young Magneto in the same universe to basically play a young version of Ian McKellen,
Right.
and I don't think there's a single actor on the planet that kind of gets that same
Vibe.
They
yeah
could fill those
yeah.
shoes.
Yeah. It's like Gandalf. I think we can all agree that Siri McKellen, like, there's nobody else that can play uh Gandalf at all.
He is Gandalf. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
like
Forever and always, yeah.
yeah.
I they're like you know that guy that does the recasting such and such, right? And he did the Lord of the Rings one. I can't remember who he said for Gandalf, but I was just like, I
The-
mean,
You want to
they're
get
never
you
gonna
want to
have.
get stabbed, dog?
Yeah, I was like, well, they're never gonna have to recast Lord of the Rings for
They would
well,
have to
maybe in the
cast an
future.
actual wizard.
Yeah,
So I was like,
it's
there's gonna have to be somebody one day that just has the set of pipes on him that Ian McKellen does because he's a great actor.
yeah. I mean, after so many years of somebody being in a role, you don't really you can't imagine somebody else being in the role. That's one of the reasons why I think a lot of people aren't trying to really imagine like anybody else playing
Wolverine.
yeah, Wolverine. Like people have been talking about like, oh yeah, well, Hugh Jackman, he's done, but then he said he's not done. And then people are like trying to, do fan art of like Taron Egerton with like, the beard on the side with him smoking a stove and
I see all that, and like.
I mean, it
doesn't
looks
work for
good.
me.
I
It's
mean,
all right, but like the fans, I think only want Hugh Jackman.
oh yeah, most def. I
I
mean,
think
there's no
Feige
doubt about
wants
it.
Hugh Jackman. I think Kevin Feige wants Hugh Jackman
How
as
much
well.
do you think he's willing to pay him though? That's the question.
A lot. Have you seen how much he plays RDJ?
Yeah, but RDJ
Like,
is kind of a diva. He came in like a diva. Well, no, he didn't.
yeah,
He came in
but he
later
did.
on in a diva because like me and Shawn, we work up towards Pinewood, so like we'd hear stories where like he'd take a private plane. Uh, I can't remember where he'd take like a private plane and land in like Falcon Field, like which is in Peachtree City. Um, and basically just go to set from there because Falcon Field is like it's on the other side of Peachtree City. Then you basically just go up the road to Fayetteville, and that's right before you get into Fayetteville. That's where Pinewood Studios is. So, so he was kind of diva-ish when it came to stuff like that. I always found, but I mean, everybody liked him. That's not to say that they didn't like him, but I just always found that funny. But
Feverish? I don't know. He's just taking a private plane to work. He's a busy man.
I mean, yeah, but do you think I think it's all part of his persona, though. I think he got so deep into the Tony Stark, like, bravado.
it.
Yeah,
He
that
be
he
doing
that
Killing
yeah.
with this.
Yeah,
You
it's
live
like
that, man. I don't care. You brought us something that I could never be replicated.
yeah. Yeah. All right.
And to think that he had a whole career before Iron Man as well, but like
He
that's what he's going to be
did.
remembered for.
Well, I mean, people.
Like that's what he's going to be remembered for.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, other than that, people will remember him for like.
He's got some good movies.
I mean, what was it? What was he in? He was in
Tropic Thunder.
No, he was.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
He
but
did
he was
Sherlock
in.
Holmes.
He was in U.S. Marshal. Yeah, U.S. Marshal with Wesley Snipes and Tommy Lee Jones. It was kind of like the. It was like not really a spinoff, but it was kind of like the opposite version of The Fugitive. It was the law's perspective. It had the same cast. As far as the law side, it had the same cast. It just didn't have Harrison Ford in there.
Well, yeah, RDJ's done a lot of good stuff that I like.
Yeah.
The film. What was it called? The Lawyer? No.
Yeah, the lawyer.
I've
Yeah,
never
yeah, yeah.
seen
It was because it
The
had
Lawyer?
him and because it had him and then it had Robert Duvall. Bro, that movie
Yeah.
hit you something different at the end of that. Woo!
Oh, yeah.
We all
His
grown. We know what's up.
His performance in that movie is incredible
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's had a lot of good performances ever since then, but that was like that. Arguably, that's one of the biggest comebacks. I mean, between him and there's another name I'm forgetting, but they had like a really big. I mean, I could say Mickey Rourke, but not really because he didn't really keep it.
Well, Joaquin Phoenix had a pretty big one because after Gladiator, he kind of spun off the rails.
Yeah, but he didn't really come. He did a couple films, like he did the movie. Was it Her?
Yeah.
I forget what that movie's kind of weird. It's like a Sundance movie. So
Yeah, it's weird.
okay. So next topic. It's gonna be a hot button issue, but I think it. All right. So we're nerds, or not nerds, but we like Star Wars, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not the newest 3 of the trilogy, but we're not gonna talk about that. Yeah.
TFA, fine. You know what? Fine.
Yeah.
But the other 2, I can sit down. I can watch 9, and I can eat some popcorn, and I can watch it.
Right.
8,
Okay.
I'm gripping my fist the entire time. I'm just pissed. And it was announced yesterday that utter bastard has got a trilogy in Star Wars, and I just
who knows? They might
Oh.
but they might not give it. Oh, you talking about Ryan Johnson?
Ryan Johnson has another.
Yeah, he has a full trilogy. They gave him a full trilogy.
Who knows what he's gonna do with it though, or if it's gonna take off at all. I mean,
I don't know. Maybe if you give him a full trilogy, he might actually be able to do something. You know, with characters that he can't ruin, he has to create some of his own. Maybe he won't ruin it.
I mean, yeah,
Maybe.
but he might like do
The
stuff
whole
to
universe around it.
yeah, but he might do something to kind of like mess up the lore a little bit. Yeah, like retcon a couple things. I don't know. All right, so it's Gina Carano. All right, now Gina Carano, for those who don't know, she was the shock trooper, Cara Dune, in The Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2. She said a couple weird things over the years, and they're not really weird. They're
Very political.
They're very political. I mean, it's okay. I don't care if you're political. I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't. But then she said something on Instagram where she posted somebody else's post on Instagram, basically talking about the media. And I think people took it a little bit out of context, maybe just a little bit. But I think it was a really weird analogy. She basically said that the government or the media, I think the government and the media is basically kind of doing the same thing or could get out of control, much like in 1940 or 1930s Germany, when the German government decided that they were going to try to, instead of just going out and getting the Jewish people, they were going to turn their neighbors against them, to basically out them and harass and harangue them and do a lot of other stuff that I can't really say because we're on Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah.
Future
Yeah,
YouTube. But so she got fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I stand very firm on this. She had been warned by Disney multiple
Yeah.
times. Right? She's on a platform that is basically built for kids.
Right.
She's on a
Well, I
platform that
mean,
is basically built for kids. I'll get on to
yes.
Ted Cruz in a minute because what he said really made me mad.
Okay. I don't know what he said, but all right, so as far as I get it, it is for kids, but it's not. My biggest my angle coming into this is like, okay, it's like a teacher. Everybody, when you go into an employment, it's like where me and Shawn work. Like we have a certain code of conduct that we have to keep outside. Now ours isn't big because we're not in the public eye, but generally like teachers, they have a certain code of ethics that they have to keep outside of the job.
Yeah.
So like if a teacher is caught in a strip club, they can be immediately fired because that's against the code of ethics. And I think that goes to the same point of like Disney or Lucasfilms where they have a certain thing that they have to stay within the realms, but to not get too, I would say, racy with it, which she didn't all the way leading up to, like she said something about masks and said something about the election and votes and stuff like that. Then she was warned, and at that time she was actually going to get her own show, Cara Dune. She was going to get her own show, and then they told her like, hey, watch your buns, and she posted that. I wouldn't call it a meme, but she posted somebody else's post, screenshot it or whatever, and yeah. So
I mean,
she got the
she
boot.
was still. I mean, the character is still getting its own show.
I don't.
She's like
I don't know though. I wouldn't do that.
No. Well, they're recasting Cara Dune.
I wouldn't do that.
What do you mean you wouldn't do it?
I wouldn't. It's just adding insult to injury.
I mean, I don't care.
I mean, yeah.
There's been recast of huge parts in the past.
You talking about?
If you
talking about Hulk?
Look at Game of. No, yeah, Hulk. And you look at the scale of the actor that they had for Hulk as well, Ed Norton.
Yeah, who weighed like $120 wet.
Yeah.
He turned into this hulking ass.
Yeah, but it that right there is a prime example. It doesn't matter who you are. Like
yeah.
They shot the entire first season with an Emilia Clarke, with a Daenerys Targaryen that didn't work for the first season of Game of Thrones, right?
Right.
And then they recast with Emilia Clarke.
Yeah, that's why her scenes were like. That's why all of her scenes were kind of weird, because they all seemed out of place. But Shawn, what's your take on this? I know you're a little bit different than us on our. I mean, we all have different perspectives, but yours is a little bit.
It's a little different, I guess. Different. Seeing some of the tweets, they might be a little bit distasteful. Politically, I didn't think it was too bad what she said. I've seen people make worse tweets, and especially like Pedro Pascal when he tweeted that one thing that last year. Kind of seemed a little similar.
Yeah, he got a little crazy last year. They fired and rehired him, like all on the same day or something like that.
Ultimately, I guess that is Disney's decision if they want to go forward and do that. If they don't, like her, they don't have the obligation to keep her on there. But
I do. I get what you're saying. I do feel that there is a I wouldn't say a bias towards that, but there, for certain ideologies and for certain people that get really politically active, they have to stay within a certain line, and if they kind of nudge that line a little bit, it can lead to things like this happening. And I think there needs to be a talk about that, because I don't mind anybody who's conservative or liberal. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, what was it? God, what's his name? I can't remember his name. But he. Anyways, I can't remember his name. I really can't. His last name starts with a Robert. Anyways, but yeah, there's a few conservative people in Hollywood, and I think that if people like yeah, I'm trying to. Okay, so like people like Brie Larson or people like Emma Watson are able to come out and kind of speak their truths as they see it. I feel like people on the opposite side of the field should be able to express how they feel without the ramifications. Now that's not without going saying like they still need to be kind of like, they have to toe that line of like professionalism, because when Brie Larson came out and said, this movie isn't for white people, I'm pretty sure everybody was like, hold on, like the movie's for everybody. Why do you have to classify it in that manner? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Wait, what movie did she say that about?
She said that about Captain Marvel. She literally,
What?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Oh
yeah,
yeah. That was the whole thing.
yeah. She went
Get
up
it
on
your head,
stage.
man.
She went up on stage and she was talking about movie reviewers and stuff like that, and she was talking about how they don't have enough people of color and women in the movie reviewing industry. And it's basically old white people saying that they didn't like the movie, and she basically said, this movie wasn't made for you. And it's like, no, she wasn't talking about Captain Marvel. She was talking about A Wrinkle in Time. Yeah, she was talking
That's
about
what it was.
A Wrinkle in Time, but it was right around the time that she was doing
Wait, is
promotions.
she in that?
Yeah, apparently, I think, I don't know. Uh,
I've seen that
I've
movie
never
and I
seen
don't
it.
remember her being in it.
I've never seen it, but
It's the magical one with Oprah, right?
yeah,
yeah, there's that one. Yeah.
yeah. But she was literally doing like kind of like press stuff
I missed that one.
for Captain Marvel. So it's like, I think there should be a standard that should be held equally on all sides. Be like, look, okay, it's kind of like in the military, where the military, you can't go out, and if you're in uniform, you can't go out and say anything politically about either side if you're in uniform.
Mhm. Yeah.
And if you're out of uniform, you can't talk about your distaste towards the sitting president. You can't do that. That can catch you in Article 15 real quick. If they catch you. So it's one of the things where I think it'd be the same thing. Uh,
Well,
don't worry about that.
here's the one thing that I'll say about Gina. It's like, it's one of those things where I've worked on film sets and there's a certain camaraderie on set, that kind of needs to be held, because otherwise it's a miserable experience. And first she's a transphobe, right? And obviously Pedro Pascal is brother, sister. He has a trans sibling. um, and obviously where she's a
Wait,
transphobe and
all
she's
right. So
made
who's a
trans.
transphobe?
Gina Carano.
What do
Is
you
she?
mean she? What?
Yeah.
All right. What has she said
Now,
against
There was
transgenders?
I don't know if it was before she joined the Mandalorian, but she had like a bunch of transphobic tweets that were like screenshotted and they were posted online last week when she got fired.
Oh, okay. So she had one. Yeah, she did something on Twitter, because I remember that she said something about people were get mad at her because she didn't have her pronouns in her bio on Twitter.
oh, the beep
Right.
group beep.
Yeah, she
I
had.
don't think it's transphobic.
I
It was
don't.
kind of.
I don't know if she's. I don't know if she's actually transphobic or if she
No, it
just
was just about
doesn't.
pronouns, wasn't it? I mean, if he has
Yeah.
he,
I don't.
she, or yeah,
I mean,
if
she
your
could
pronouns is
be. I don't. I
she
don't
or
know.
he, that's
Yeah.
I don't catch
not
that
really
vibe that she's like
in
transphobic
the
as much as she
spectrum. It's
just.
more like
Right.
forcing somebody to put your pronouns. Like, I don't put my pronouns on social media. I think that I just don't do
Yeah.
it.
I
I
get
was
what
about
you
to say,
mean, but
watch
it's
what you're
just the
saying.
way.
I
It's the way.
Huh?
It's the
was
way that
about to say,
certain
watch you saying.
Attack helicopter. That's
You about to get me
It's the
banned?
way that certain people viewed it,
yeah.
and then
Right.
obviously, I mean, in my opinion, I thought that she. I don't think that she deserved another chance because Disney had already given her a bunch of
Yeah.
different chances.
I mean, if you're warned enough times, like I mean, that goes with any job. Like if you get a certain amount of warnings and you're about to get your show, like your own spin-off show, shut the hell up. You'll be okay. Throw some debab on it and you'll be all right. But there's people in the there's people on the conservative side of the platform that are speaking out about the things that are happening or that they feel that are happening. So let them speak out, and you speak in to them, but I wouldn't say for things like that. If they go out and they tell you like, hey, you need to calm down your rhetoric, it's going against maybe our values, against non-binary folks, or the LGBT, or like your shirt. What's up, dog? Anyway, but like if it goes against their values or their tenets, in a sense, I think like giving them a warning and then them going and using their platform and after being warned, I think that's as it goes with any job. If they warn you and you do it again, they have the right to fire you. As sucky as it is, because I liked her in the movies that she played in, and in the show, I thought she was awesome. But at the same time,
Here's the thing. There was always that thing in the back of my mind, is because of what people were saying on Twitter. Every time I saw her in the show, I'm like, yeah, she's kind of a badass, but
she's an ex-MMA fighter. I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah. But like every time I saw her, I was just reminded of some of the things that she said online, which isn't as bad as some of the stuff that other people have said.
Right.
But I think cancel culture is getting to the point where, these companies are now starting to listen. I really wish people would hop off of Chris Pratt like every time.
Oh my God, you're not lying. They are
annoying me.
I'm sure they'll give them too.
Oh, they're good. They're trying hard.
Yeah, they'll find an excuse. Cancel culture.
But the thing is, Marvel aren't gonna sack Chris Pratt because they all like him. They all like him. The entire cast, they all like him. Brie Larson probably doesn't, but
no,
Brie Larson don't like
mob,
him.
Go ahead. You know what, Disney? What's your
mob
idea? Go ahead and recast Captain Marvel, because I'm sick of Brie Larson.
I think that's what they're doing though. That's what I was talking about. I think like if they're talking about going back to the WandaVision, I'm gonna touch on that real quick, but we're gonna keep this Gina Carano thing. But I think them paving the way, saying like your cells are changing or something like that. I think that's paving the way for her to be the new Captain Marvel. I could be speculating wrong on this one.
Monica Rambeau.
I feel like they might be trying to finesse her out of the role. But this is a way to why wouldn't they?
Because Kevin Feige likes her.
I mean, that don't mean nothing. If she's creating waves that the public doesn't like,
true.
I can see it going the opposite way. I mean,
yeah. So I wanted to touch on this Ted Cruz thing quickly.
Yeah, because then we're gonna move to our next topic.
So. Ted Cruz tweeted out, she was groundbreaking in the Star Wars industry and she's paving the way for more women. And I'm kind of sitting there and I'm like, huh?
I mean, yeah.
Well, you've never watched Star Wars, have you? I was like, did Carrie Fisher not pave the way for women in Star Wars?
Yeah.
Movies?
He did say something along the lines of like, she's not a princess, she's not a senator, she's just a badass trooper. Like she's none of the above. And I can see where he's coming from, but at the same time, like Star Wars has always kind of paved the way for women.
All senses of the word.
Star Wars.
Right,
Solo.
Princess Leia was never a princess. Like in terms of how people view a princess, she was never that.
At the very beginning, yeah, and then she got all sassy, and it's like, okay, hello.
Stole a gun.
She was shooting mofos in the very beginning of it. Episode 4, she was
stormtroopers and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was up. She was up in there.
It did annoy me because I was like, okay, you look at Carrie Fisher, and then you have
You could do it. You could do it.
see, I've got one of these now, Cal. So you just have one, and now I have one.
Mothma?
Padme.
Really?
Yeah.
Padme Amidala?
Yeah. What's the actress's name?
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. Thank you.
Welcome back. Holy
You
shit.
have Carrie Fisher, and then you have Natalie Portman.
Yeah,
and then
Mom
you
Mothma,
have-
which I mean, she was only in like a scene or two, but yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll give her that.
Then you have multiple women in the new trilogy, and I understand people's quarrels with Rey, but I thought Daisy Ridley did a good job with what she was given.
Yeah, I'll give her that. She
Like
did what
Carol,
she did what she was supposed to. I mean,
you remember how 15 years ago people hated Hayden Christensen,
yeah.
but now he's loved.
Well, I mean, it takes a bad trilogy to. Well, okay, so having a bad trilogy.
They were loving Hayden Christensen before the new trilogy came out.
Yeah, but really, I don't know about that.
Yes, 100%.
I mean, maybe.
I remember them calling him whiny.
Well, but that was the script. That was George Lucas. He just did what he did what he could with a shitty script. We all know that George Lucas, like, he can't write for shit. He can create a world and a universe, but he can't write for shit.
Yeah. When he directs them, I mean, he directed episode 4, and then I think 5 and 6 he had somebody else come in,
but he still wrote them.
Yeah. They just had creative kind of license to go.
He directed and wrote my favorite Star Wars film, so I can't be annoyed.
This guy.
My favorite, and then my most unfavorite, like episode 1.
1 and 3, yeah, that's unfortunate. Why did Jar Jar need to happen?
Not.
Well, all right. So one was sketchy altogether because of the stereotypes. Like there's just random stereotypes throughout that whole movie, and for no other reason other than maybe it was just a thing in jest. Like nobody was supposed to know about it. But it's kind of obvious when Jar Jar literally has like ears like dreadlocks and he's over here, Misa Dusa. It's like, really?
Maybe
and then,
George was trying to find inspiration for characters.
No.
That's how he came up with Jar Jar and then...
I mean, maybe, but I don't know who like was the yes man in his crew that said, hey, we're going to make the Trait Federation look Japanese. When that happened, I was just like, bro, y'all are bugging. Y'all are straight bugging. Like, yeah, I get it. China, Japan, they're pretty big in the tech industry and everything. But, bro, like, watch out. Like, y'all doing too much. And then, of course, we got to go with Watto.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
Like, all he wanted was money. It's like, God dang. You go back and watch it as a grown man, and you're like, okay, maybe this isn't the best. It's kind of like going back and watching Looney Tunes as a kid, as a grown man. You're like, did they say that?
There's like 3 things that I really like about the Phantom Menace, and that's Darth Maul, Qui-Gon Jinn, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then the rest is just straight trash.
Favorite Jedi of all time? Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a lot of people's favorites.
He didn't take no shit from nobody.
No, I can't wait for him to come back.
Not even Yoda.
Yeah.
Is he coming back?
They're gonna have him in the Kenobi series for sure. There's no way.
Unless they...
The Kenobi series is going to be after episode 3.
It is.
Oh, like a Force Ghost. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Yoda did say at the end of 3 about
Qui-Gon. Obviously, Qui-Gon, Liam Neeson also, he did stuff for the Clone Wars as well.
Yeah.
He's in the Clone Wars series, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
All right. We're going to get on our next topic, which is the CDL Post event. Now, Shawn,
we're going to get this off my chest.
Right. Okay. ATL phase up. What's Yeah. We beat the shit out of... No, I was playing. We didn't. We did a couple. All right. So let me preface everybody in the chat real quick and say, okay, so they had their first actual their first event or homestand. I can't call it a championship at all because they had a weird bracket system for the CDL. For people who don't know what the CDL is,
there was no. This is
yeah.
basically pool play leading up to the major.
Right. Okay. So they basically the CDL is a Call of Duty league where they have 12 teams with used to be 5, now it's 4 people on each team, and then you have subs teams, all basically just like regular sports, only it's Call of Duty esports. So they had their first inaugural event. This time it was at Atlanta, but not at Atlanta because Rona. And basically the majority of players were playing out of Dallas. Apparently that was before the big ass storm that hit. Prayers to people that are over there.
What did it hit? It's like
oh, dude, it hit the
Sunday
whole
night. It started, right?
Yeah, something like that. It just rushed down the entire.
Saturday.
It just rushed down the entire middle of the country, like out of nowhere.
There's a food shortage right now.
Wait,
Yeah.
Just quickly before we get into this, did you guys see what was happening in Saudi Arabia today?
Nah, it's changing all.
Giant snowstorms in one of the hottest countries in the world.
It gets pretty cold in that. It kind of sounds like the plot of 2012, to be honest. But...
Or the plot of whatchamacallit?
Day After Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
not.
I like that movie.
Yeah, just not big ass, like 50 or 60 mile wide hurricane eyes that basically go to absolute zero. You muted your mic, didn't you? Did you? Oh, you did. You did.
Right,
oh, my bad.
Let's get on with the CDL.
Okay, so everybody did good-ish. There was a couple surprises and there was a couple of not surprises. I would say the one surprise and I know going into this, I didn't really think about it, but it was Florida. Florida, I was surprised they didn't do as good as I wanted them to do. Because I thought that they had on paper they had a pretty good team. And then I'll go out and say it. The Thieves, they actually looked really, really good. They're up 2-0 in their bracket. They're leading in their division. Was it Division A?
All right.
And
here's one thing I'll say about the Thieves. Here's one thing. They played Rocker. They beat Rocker.
Mm-hmm.
But then they played the disgruntled New York Subliners. That New York still had problems.
Yeah, didn't they have like that new guy on there? He was like, he's fresh.
No, but like you expect one of the people to be playing well is Mac. He was getting exposed the entire series.
Yeah, because of that mustache. Is that what it is? Like he had that weird Predator stash on. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't even know.
Yeah, he had like that. He kind of like in the pictures, at least, he kind of reminded me of a kid that gets his first mustache peach fuzz little shit, and they just keep it and rock it out. That's exactly what he looked like in his little profile picture. That shit was hilarious. I'm like,
yeah, but he kind of got exposed in that series, and I feel bad for New York because I feel like if they had Zuma, they would have won that.
Yeah,
I think they lost the S&D 6-5. The hard point was extremely close, and that could have gone either way. Like, ASIM really showed up in that series too.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's going to turn around for New York at some point. I definitely feel like it's going to turn around. But one thing I'll say about Thieves is they played a Minnesota Rocket team that had Priester. Priester got slammed the entire series.
Yeah, he was getting bodied.
But when they played Dallas, Priester was firing off on all cylinders. So it was like, if they have that against the Thieves, because perhaps he was having internet problems or, he was having other issues with the servers or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like that series against the Rocker is completely different if Priester's playing like he was against Dallas. Because when the Rocker played Dallas, they looked extremely good.
Yeah, I think they might have underestimated, and that goes into my point about the classic that they played. I feel like maybe there was a few teams that like overperformed, and I feel like there's some teams that underperformed because they didn't want to give all their secrets away. And I think case in point that maybe did that. And I'm not saying this for anything in particular, but I think FaZe was one of them. I think maybe Thieves were one of them, but not necessarily sure about that one entirely. But I definitely know. I feel like FaZe like were kind of nonchalant going into it. They maybe a little cocky, but also like just kind of we don't want to show all of our chips.
I feel like going into the kickoff classic, I feel like FaZe were under practiced in respawn.
Right.
You know, you saw teams using double XMs, and Alec was still using a Krig, and MC was using an XM, and he didn't really have the best event at the kickoff classic. And
Right.
Abizi didn't have a great kickoff classic either. So
Right.
FaZe looked good, and this is going to bring me on to the Optic FaZe thing. So if we win the hard point, Optic fans aren't bitching right now about Optic's S&D. They would have just said, "Oh, you got to fix my app."
Yeah.
Right? Because last year when we played Dallas, the opening event of the year, the opening series of the year, was actually for points.
Right.
We 3-1 Dallas, and as you know, the Maven line Chicago came in and dominated the respawns.
Right.
Right, but we got 6-0'd in the search on Arc Club Peak.
I don't know what it is. I can't tell you what it is, but like when Scump is on a team, you know that their strong point is not Surge. Like that's a given.
Hold on. So we got 6-0 by Dallas on Arc Club Peak, right? But we dominated the respawns. We won the series 3-1.
Right.
And then next event, we played Dallas twice.
Right.
We beat them in both the searches. Won one series 3-1, losing a domination, and the other series was a 3-0.
Yeah.
In which we won both the searches 6-5, and that was at the very next event, which we won the event, right? So I'm not disgruntled by the fact that we lost to Atlanta, because at least they know that they're in a spot where they played a good search team, and they were unprepared. They were unprepared in S&D, but they looked darn good in the respawns.
Right.
Like, you're battling with probably, I'd say, the other team in the league that has that slaying prowess.
Yeah.
No, because if you think about those players, you have a BZ, Arcites, Celium, and Simp. Those are all top slayers in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Right? There isn't another team apart from Optic that is like that.
Right.
So I wouldn't call Dallas a slaying team.
No, not right now. I think
they have Illy.
Yeah, but I think once Shotzi kind of figures out some weird ass fucking groove or some shit like that, he's gonna come out and he's gonna, like some great game breaking mechanic. Like they were talking when the game first came out, they were talking about how there's a way you can like slide. You can slide back pedal, cancel shit like that, and he's the one that came out with that.
They fixed that already.
Yeah, and it's just like just play the game. Like everybody in here knows how Black Ops 2 was. Like the only reason why jumping came around was because you couldn't dive while you couldn't drop shot while you were running because you'd freaking dive. Like there wasn't no extra mechanic that you could do to try to cheese. It was literally you jump. Yeah. Pretty simple. Like that's why the scuffs became popular, was because of the dive mechanic basically kind of ruined drop shotting. Everybody started jumping. Well, jumping's kind of weird when they don't have legacy or tactical.
MW3 made scuffs popular.
Yeah, with the drop.
Jump drop shot.
Yeah, but jumping wasn't really. It didn't really start taking foothold until you got into Black Ops when they did the dive. Because I remember they did the dive in the first Black Ops, but people, I'm pretty sure they were trying to figure out like how to make it to where people can still do stuff without, because tactical is the only other one that you can use, but you can only use that for drop shotting. You can't use that to jump. Now they have bumper jumper now, but they didn't have that back then.
Yeah.
You had to buy like these weird contraptions to like put on your controller, like that were kind of like traced out and weird shit. So okay, but that's we gotta scroll to the next topic, which is probably one of my favorite topics so far. All right, so randomly out of the blue, today, I'm pretty sure everybody in here has just randomly opened up any social media and been like, "Oh, Mortal Kombat! Oh, wait, Mortal Kombat trailer! Oh shit, this is actually happening!" And it looks fucking phenomenal.
They dropped a rated R
Oh,
trailer as well.
yeah,
Just,
yeah, that shit was definitely rated
they
R.
didn't just drop any sort
Yeah,
of trailer. They dropped a rated R
but
trailer
it's
for
fitting,
Mortal
right?
Kombat.
Like it's
I
Mortal Kombat.
I
Like
was a bit
it's like
pissed off that
Deadpool.
I didn't hear the words fatality, but you know what? I'm okay with it.
Well,
I'm
they
sure
said
we'll hear it in the movie
I.
one time.
Well, I think they did. All right, so they didn't do fatality, but I did hear them say
Finish him.
finish him. Yeah,
Finish him.
right after the
Get over here.
yeah, like right after the Mortal Kombat
Get
thing
over
crawled,
here.
it was yeah they did the finish him, which you know Sub-Zero Scorpion they look pretty good. They got what's his name? It's Hero God, what's his name? Hiro Sonata.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got him playing Scorpion, I think. I'm not too sure. I mean, granted, he he didn't have the full garb on, but he did. He looked like he was a part of the God. What was their clan? It wasn't the Lin Kuei. It was the Shirai Ryu. So I think they're gonna show like when he was out of uniform. I think they're gonna show like how everything happened, like how he turned into the Spectre, and then create that tension because they never had the tension in the original movies. It was like two ninjas who were okay with each other in the first movie, and the second movie apparently they weren't, and apparently he has a brother. Second movie's trash, hot garbage. First one, it was memeable and it had good qualities to it. I feel like it was too whitewashed in my opinion. Because they have.
Oh, this one's definitely not gonna be.
Well, okay, yes, but they had that one weird guy that I don't even know. I can't remember. It's like Chad or some shit, and it's like, please don't put like some like atypical like this is a game, so we need like some savior character, and it always seems to be less. No matter what type of game it is, like all right. I get it. This is made by Ed Boon, so it's not technically like a Japanese or an Asian leaning game, but it kind of is. So like they got this random guy in here, and I hope they don't do it where like this one random white guy has to go in there and save everybody. It's like they don't need saving, not at all. I'm pretty sure everybody in there can fend for themselves. That's why we play Mortal Kombat. I do like the fact that Sub-Zero like is the reason why Jax doesn't have arms.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Scene, actually.
He just shoots the bullet. You see the bullet just traveling through the ice. It's like, yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then that little X-ray move that he did, where he basically like sliced him and froze the blood and used it as a dagger to stab him and throw him in the
Pretty
wall.
sure that's a move that you can do in the game.
That's definitely a move that you can do from like 10, 11, or 12. I can't.
I
I don't know.
11 or 12.
It had to have been like an X-ray move or some shit like that. It had to have been, but it looks good. I had thought that it was gonna be, that it was gonna be one of those TV shows. I thought that's what it was gonna be, and then it was like no, it's they're like, oh no, it's not a TV show. It's an actual movie, and I was like, all right, bet.
Well, I'm glad they didn't make it a series. I don't think they would do it justice. I mean, they might have.
It could.
I mean, you would have got a lot, more fights if it was a TV show.
Yeah, but if
also, you could probably do a lot more of the lore and backstory for.
You could, but I feel a lot of random filler would be in there, and they would have to. I feel like it, depending on like if Ed Boon is like an executive producer and he has creative control, because he didn't have creative control over the original two. He didn't have nothing on those. Like they came to him and they were like, "Hey, we want to make these movies with your property. Is it okay?" But he had no control over what they did or didn't do. So that's why when you watch those movies, they don't really talk too much about the lore between the the Shirai Ryu versus the Lin Kuei, like why there's two Sub-Zeros, Kuai Liang and whatever his brother is. Bihan. Yeah, sorry.
Mm.
They don't talk about that, so it's like, you know, hopefully they'll delve into everybody's story a little bit further. So that's pretty good. All right. So last topic. All right. So
Hey, this one's on you too.
hey, that is definitely it's technically on me right now because Shawn hasn't downloaded it yet, or he's downloading it, or maybe it's only a gig, whatever. You have it downloaded, whatever.
What's it, a Viking game?
All right, so okay, let me preface this first before we delve into what it. All right, so the game that's basically taking taking Steam by storm and taking basically everybody by storm, even on Twitch. Like
Was this the one that Damon was playing the other day, where he got the trolls to attack that guy's?
Yes,
base?
yes.
Oh,
this
okay,
game came out of nowhere. It's only a gig to download.
Awesome.
And this game, it's called Valhiem. Like I said, it's a gig to download, and it is not demanding at all on anybody's PC because it works a lot with like low res polys and or low res textures. Everything looks very kind of like Minecrafty. In the texture range, but not necessarily like the blocks. But that's basically what the game is. The game is literally like Minecraft, but with Vikings. You start off with nothing, and you basically have to go out and cut down trees to build, to get certain items, and then you have to go beat these things that are called Forsakens because you're on Valheim. Valheim is considered to be the 10th realm in Norse mythology. So the Forsaken are sent to this 10th realm because they can't be killed. And you basically like are sent there to basically survive, but I think you're dead. I'm not sure. I haven't, the crows come up and they tell us stuff, but I haven't really sat around because they're fucking annoying. But yeah, you're supposed to defeat all of them. There's 5 bosses that you have to beat, and they progressively get harder and going throughout this world. And I'm saying this world is massive. I've watched people on stream and stuff like that. They've only touched like a fraction of the world because the whole world is I forget what the term is, but it's generated through memory, like online memory. So you basically the level loads as it goes. So that's why it's so short as far as the memory to download it. But yeah, the world is massive. I think we were going from one place to another place on a ship the other day, and it took us maybe like, I don't know, 20 minutes in real time just to get there. It's kind of like DayZ, only actually bigger than DayZ, to be honest with
I've
you.
seen the map.
It's
huge.
huge.
A bigger map than DayZ.
Yeah.
Oh,
it has I can't remember what's the biggest map out there as far as playable maps, but
like
the biggest
like
the biggest world map out there. I don't know what it is.
Well, I think it was one of the armor. It was one of the armor mods, right? One of the armor mods had like the biggest.
It might be. I'm not sure, but
like singular map.
Yeah, like one singular map, because that's basically what this is. It's one singular map. It looks like a flat Earth.
Well, because I always thought GTA had a big map, right?
And then you start comparing them.
Witcher 3 was bigger than that, actually.
Yeah.
And then Red Dead was pretty big too. And
oh, God, it takes so long to get around in that game.
What, Red Dead? Oh yeah, I can't stand that. Yeah, I can't stand Red Dead.
I thought they were gonna have some sort of car in that game because it was getting towards that time period. No, I thought it was gonna get towards that era of time period, right? But I thought they were gonna be like,
the first game, maybe.
You know how in Assassin's Creed where they basically created like an airplane, right? Because they were doing that whole storyline, it allowed you to get around the map quicker. Well, I thought they were gonna do that with Red Dead and be like, hey, you know what? Here's an Easter egg for the
because it's 1885 or
something.
Yeah, 1888 or something like that. Some weird thing.
I think it's 1890 because the Red Dead 1 takes place in like 19 No, like 1803 or something like that.
Nah,
Early,
it
no,
can't
no,
be
no,
1803.
19th century, I think, or 18th to
Bitch.
19th century. I
18th
don't know.
century.
18th.
The
No,
19th
no.
century is the 1800s.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
Welcome back.
yeah, I mean, like early 1900s, like
Well,
1903.
I don't know.
You say hundreds?
My
Whatever.
fellow nerd self has let me down.
It's okay. You're having a senior moment. It's
No,
fine.
Man.
But
yeah, I thought they were gonna have an Easter egg for the DeLorean in Red Dead Redemption 2 because of
I would like that.
the traveling.
because of the
Future
Back
Part
to the
3.
Future 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought that would have been quite cool, like, you know, driving a DeLorean around
Yeah.
in Red Dead 2, like, I'd be like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But no, it never happened, so.
But so
Sad face.
so yeah, this game is like I said, it's like Minecraft in the sense that you literally just go around and you could build castles, you could build forts, you could do whatever you want. All you need to do is just farm, and you go up through the ages of like you go up through like the Stone Age to the Bronze Age to the Silver Age to the Gold Age, shit like that. But you have to beat in order to beat the game in theory, you have to beat all 5 of the Forsaken bosses. But I said it's still in early access right now, so it's not even a full game right now. It's not even finished fully yet.
Well, there's already
They're still
rumors
implementing.
It's going to be coming to console.
I can see that. I mean, it's not like I said. It's not a demanding game. I mean, like I said, it's a gig for PC, so I can see them putting it on console. And also the UI that it works with is really intuitive. Like it doesn't take a whole lot to basically do things here and there. So I'm pretty sure they can make it, you know, for whatchamacallit. I think no, everything probably is portable on a controller. It is portable.
Oh,
So yeah.
There's
not a lot of there's not a lot of well, I was talking about the controls. Like there's not a lot of key binding like keys that you use that basically like it's not like WoW where you have like 50 million key like every key means something. There's only a few keys that actually mean something in this game. Like M is generally
make it a mobile game.
Huh?
Think they'll make it a mobile game?
Nah. I don't. They might make a light version, kind of like they did with Minecraft, but I don't see why they would. That'd just be wasting time and resources. That doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, that's all I got. I think everybody should definitely give that game a try. Like I said, if you got a gig to spare and you got $20 to spare, go ahead. It's definitely worth the buy. Out of all the games that I bought in so far, that I feel that maybe overpriced. This is not overpriced. This is actually underpriced. I'd pay a lot more for it just because of what you're able to do and the type of content that you could put out for it. Kind of like Sea of Thieves, but there's an actual objective, more of an objective than Sea of Thieves. So
I have some juicy topics to suggest for next week.
Hey. No, you're good.
Yeah, no, I have some juicy topics to suggest for next week. I wanted to, because of the new cast that's coming out for the Borderlands, I wanted to do one about like video games that get made into films. Because obviously, you know, big topical discussion obviously is Mortal Kombat as well.
Yeah.
There was we have to discuss the Snyder Cut. I think that's one of the
topics yeah. I mean we can go over that a little bit right now.
Sure.
I mean I know Shawn's not here. But I mean we can go over it, or if you just want to wait until next week, 'cause what is it next week?
I mean, yeah,
when does the Snyder Cut come out? It comes out in March, right?
March, yeah.
Okay, so it comes out in March. I mean, we still have time.
We also have Falcon and the Winter Soldier starting in March as well.
Yeah, which they like. I was excited when they had the mask. That's pretty awesome, tacular how they brought the mask up in there. Which we had a lady come in and she works on there. She had like the little thing for her jacket.
Yeah.
And she was basically like, "Oh yeah, that show was It was loads of fun working on, and y'all are really gonna like that." and I was talking about, like WandaVision. She's like, yeah, if you just get past the first 2 episodes, that's what I usually tell people. Once you get past the first 2 episodes of WandaVision, you're good. You don't have to worry about it. So,
I
um,
apologize. I have an emergency I got to take care of.
okay, buddy,
Um,
you're good, man.
Sorry about that.
You
Yo,
good?
text
Alright.
me, all
Good,
right?
Shawn.
Text me if
All right.
everything's good, okay?
All right.
Alrighty then. So we're gonna
But
go
yeah,
back to 2 people real quick. Oh god, this is gonna suck. I'm gonna try to figure it out.
One thing that I do want to discuss next week, Cal, is the lineup for HBO Max this year. You know how Warner Brothers were like, right, we're gonna like
Right.
our entire movie lineup of 2021 is going to be released on HBO Max, and I was like, that's a goddamn bold statement.
Right.
I was like, because there are some absolute blockbusters in here that would make a lot of money at the cinema, but obviously, they're I think they're testing the waters.
Oh yeah.
They're definitely testing the waters, and I'm very very intrigued. Especially, I tell you what movie I'm looking forward to, Cal. Space Jam 2.
Space Jam 2.
I don't know. You've obviously seen the first one, right?
I mean, yeah, but am I enthused that they're making another one and putting, Bronny James or not Bronny because that's his son, but LeBron? Nah,
LeBron.
I'm not really too enthused about them doing that.
But I don't know. To me, there's something so special about the Looney Tunes. I don't know what it is. I don't think it should just be the Looney Tunes as well. I definitely think they should incorporate more of the animation side from Warner Brothers because they have Scooby Doo. God damn it! I was like, I also, Cal, you've seen the live action James Gunn Scooby Doo's, right?
You mean the ones with oh god, what's her name? I can't remember her name.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
There's other ones.
No, they're the only two live action.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I would like them to do more live action Scooby Doo films.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would. Hold on. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. I'm just doing high girl shit.
Also they've got the Tom and Jerry film coming out as well.
Yeah.
That's got Chloe Grace Moretz in it.
Yeah.
Which is it's going to be interesting. They've got Suicide Squad. I don't know what are they. Is it just called Suicide Squad or does it have like a?
I don't think
like
it has a
number
catchy
2,
name.
or?
I think it literally just it's 2. I think they're keeping with that weird they're keeping with that weird theme. I don't think they're gonna try to do some extra
So
like.
it's just 2.
Yeah.
Just Suicide Squad 2. Yeah.
I mean, because they do the same like Wonder Woman. Like everybody's starting to go back. Like it used to be when you made a second movie, it was like this movie, and then there was a title afterward to make it so that way it wasn't just 2.
Yeah.
But I feel like now they're just like they're going back to it, where they're just like, all right, well, it's the second film, so we're just gonna call it that too. I think it's making a full circle. So.
Well, because if you look all the way back in Lord of the Rings,
Blinded by the light.
Peter Jackson never labeled Lord of the Rings as like 1
There you go.
or 2 or 3. They just had specific names in the order they came in within the books.
Yeah.
It was never Lord of the Rings 1. No, it was Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring.
I thought it was originally it was just one book, and then he split it. Or that was that was a Hobbit.
Tolkien split. No, Tolkien split. Tolkien can't remember when he split them, but that's why Peter Jackson. That's why they had the names that they had, because that's what Tolkien named the books.
Yeah. Well, I know that. It was just like I can't remember like when they exactly split it.
But originally, when the Lord of the Rings was released, it was just one full book.
Yeah.
So. What other stuff is coming out on HBO Max this year?
Obviously. Hold on.
No. Okay.
So Right, they got Suicide Squad. You got the
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. You also got the Snyder Cut.
Mhm.
But each one of these is supposed to be coming out but they're going to be on there for a month, and then when the next thing pops up, they're going to go off, and then the other things can get popped up. But they're not going to charge you anything extra, which I do find that funny.
Which is
I did spend $20 to go watch that Willy's Wonderland movie with Nick Cage in it, and I ain't gonna lie.
what?
All right, so
What
it's
is
called
that?
it's called Willy's Wonderland. I think it's like a weird knockoff of like a live action version of Five Nights at Freddy. But it has Nick Cage in it, and he's basically manhandling
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, he's like manhandling the shit out of some stuff that are animatronics. But he didn't say shit the entire movie. Like a movie where Nicolas Cage doesn't say anything. The whole hour and 30 minutes, he don't say nothing. He just keeps this hard ass look on his face throughout the entire movie. And I
love that guy.
Yeah, I feel like the movie was supposed to be like maybe. I feel like the script was given to a couple studios and they turned it down. And there's a couple studios that are on the credits that I don't know who they are. And there's a couple. I'm not gonna lie, it could have been better, but I feel like it's a movie where you just have to turn off your brain. It's a popcorn movie. You just turn off your brain and just watch Nicolas Cage go ham and take out his frustrations because he bought a castle and almost went broke. So he's just taking his frustrations out on a couple of knockoff Disney character or Chuck E. Cheese characters. So it's funny.
Is it this year that the Wonka film is being released?
The who?
It's called Wonka. It's the origin story of Willy Wonka before the factory.
Yeah, I haven't heard any of that. I mean, I know they're coming out with Cruella. I saw that. That's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
A Disney film.
Yeah, it looks interesting, but I haven't heard anything about the Wonka film.
It does look interesting. It gave me some cat vibes as well. It gave me some Cats vibes. You know, I was like
some Cats the musical, like on Broadway, or the Cats the musical.
The film, that trash film.
Yeah,
by the way,
we're gonna talk about
that. That film is on Ian McKellen's record, and I'm not fucking happy about it, right? Because there's nothing.
He did his shit though.
There's nothing that he could do about that absolute piece of garbage. Right? Dame Judi Dench is in that film.
I mean, I get that, but I feel like, I mean, they did what they were supposed to do. They're not the issue. The issue is in the visual department and a couple other people. The issue
was also the script. The script was awful.
Well, you're trying to translate a movie about cats, like a world of cats that are able to sing, dance, and stuff like that, and go through trials and tribulations. I mean, it's hard to fully translate.
We've seen that, like, the whole dancing, singing thing work, right? I mean, La La Land was one.
Well,
What? HBO Max coming to America. Are you excited?
That's not HBO Max.
Yes, it is.
No, it's Amazon Prime, dog.
Is it? Ah.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be good though. I mean, it's gonna be good.
Wait, I thought it was HBO because they had all those movies advertised in the Super Bowl, and that was one of them. I thought it was HBO.
No, because every time I pull up like
well, even still, Eddie Murphy coming to America, the sequel. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I'm looking it up real quick because it's gonna bug me about that.
No, I think you're right. It is Amazon Prime. No, I think about it, it is. But even still, sequel to one of his best movies ever made. It's got my boy Darth Vader in it.
Yeah, it's Prime. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got my boy Darth Vader in it.
Wait, what? The Coming to America?
Yeah, James L. Jones.
Oh. I mean, I thought you were talking about the, like Hayden Christensen or the guy who played him in the original. You're talking about the voice. Okay. Run it.
Yeah, I'm talking about the guy that brought the man to life. Right? Because without that voice, no offense to George Lucas, but Darth Vader sucks. Be
He'd
honest
come
with
up
me.
and he'd be like, "Hey
Without
guys."
without James L. Jones, Darth Vader sucks.
Oh yeah, I can see him coming up
You
there.
can't take him seriously without that voice. My boy Mufasa.
It's okay. He's died in all of his films. I think he's like he's a
Yeah,
shot.
he didn't die in Coming to America.
Well, yeah, but I feel like he's died in a good bit of movies.
I do have a topic of discussion, and real quick when we end the podcast, right? Before we end the podcast, I'm going to ask you something. Next week we're going to talk about Star Wars couple, right? Because
who?
George Lucas does some fishy business where I'm pretty sure he has a vendetta against any couple on the planet, and we're going to talk about that because they
you talking about like
lost.
Wait, what couples?
Yes.
I could see that.
Star Wars couples. They
Okay.
never lost. Right?
Yeah, I could see that.
And then right to end the podcast, I saw something on Twitter earlier. All right, and the boy won by a landslide. But I want you to. I'm gonna go and check Twitter quickly, just to make sure I get this right. I might not be able to find it. Can I find it? I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. It was basically of who is the most accurate archer. Right? It was. Katniss.
Yeah. Okay, they got the cat. Yeah, there's a thing going around
Katniss,
because that's why Green Arrow was.
Green Arrow and Legolas.
Oh, Legolas. All day, every day, twice on Sunday.
Yeah.
Katniss
he won by an absolute landslide, by the way. The thing had 100,000 votes, and Legolas had like 68% of the votes.
Yeah, you got like all right. So you got Katniss.
Miss.
You got or you got Legolas. Then you got Jesus. Then you got I'll say Hawkeye just because of the fact that he's one of the most skilled swordsmen, along with being one of the best tacticians and his archery skills.
Legolas is
he has age. And then I'll say Green Arrow, because he obviously can't train his sidekicks right, aka Speedy, aka Arsenal. Drug
Arrow's
abuse.
Lost for me.
No, don't put. No, you can't do that. But Katniss, okay, she would have got straight manhandled had it not been for the fact that nobody. I mean, yeah, you had a person with a spear in the Hunger Games. She doesn't
miss. This is talking about pure accuracy of an archer. She does not miss.
Okay, has she ever hit anybody that was moving from far distance? When?
Doesn't she shoot that apple off that guy's head as well?
What do you mean?
Well, doesn't she like?
But he was sitting.
Out of a pig's mouth.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like she's never hit anybody that's been far away and been mobile like that. And everybody that she's come up literally had, at least in the Hunger Games, she would have not gotten noticed had she used a melee weapon, but she used a ranged weapon versus I think one other guy that literally had a spear, and she literally baited the 10-year-old. I'm gonna throw it out there. Yes, she did. She baited the 10-year-old. She jumped out the way real quick. She dodged it, jumped out the way, and then killed him. But in the process, Rue died.
Yeah, but she didn't know that Rue was standing like right there.
She probably didn't, but the fact that she was like that was the only time that somebody threw something. Well, okay.
You can't say she baited a 10-year-old.
She's not as good as Green Arrow. That's not in order to be on the Justice League and to deal with half the people that they go up against. Nah, bullshit. Nah, she's not.
I'll concede this.
With his trick arrows and all the angles.
She united. You know, what was it, 12 colonies, and she took down Snow. I mean,
no. The people did that. She didn't do that. It was her. It was the idea.
She was the symbol that brought them to do that.
Okay, Green Arrow's the symbol of get better, kid. He's the symbol of, hey, if you get stranded on a desert or on a random island, and you got nothing else to do, get you a bow and arrow and just shoot a bunch of arrows. You'll be all right.
Yeah, and can't train his sidekicks properly.
Apparently,
But
he's
no,
like, don't do drugs.
Legolas wins 100%.
Oh yeah.
Wins.
Oh yeah.
It's not even close.
I think people should, instead of putting Katniss in there, because I feel like that's an unfair advantage, I think they should have put Link. An argument can be a little bit for Link. Putting Link in there. Link doesn't get enough love in the archery community. Sad.
But I feel like the four that are in there are like the four most famous. Well, I mean, you have Robin.
Social media wise, yeah, the foremost, like when you think about people using bow and arrows in movies.
Well, yeah, you have.
Yeah.
I suppose the only other one is like Robin Hood.
Yeah. Russell Crowe, Robin Hood, or like, was it
Taron Egerton? I like that.
Oh yeah. Okay. I was about to say, I was like, there's a couple renditions. Like you got the Taron Egerton, then you got the Russell Crowe, then you have the, what was it, the Kevin Costner version? Oh. He did like that weird, not so British accent. Like it was off and on. Yeah.
Right. Coltrane's in that film, man. Hagrid, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that movie is so bad.
All right, we're gonna go on a tangent again, and it's gonna be another hour and 30-minute podcast.
Legolas wins.
Yeah.
The guy doesn't miss. He's great with dual blades.
Yeah.
You catch that guy one-on-one.
You gonna get got.
Yeah.
All right. So, I'd like to appreciate everybody that came out for the stream and everybody that came out and watched it on YouTube. Thank you to my guest. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Shawn for being on the podcast. Real quick, he had to go do a couple things. He had an emergency, but he was on here, and so that way it wasn't just me and Grant doing it again. Good to get some variety on here. Like I said, I want to get, I mean, there's times where, me and you can have our little stuff like that, but I feel like, also having people enter the conversation won't make it so stagnant.
Yeah.
So
we'll be
and I'm pretty sure
it gives more of a point of view on certain things, right? Because me and you are quite the same in terms of the way we think about certain things. So
so it's always good to.
That's why we're gonna get Ryan on to discuss Star Wars.
I mean, we could make it happen next week. I'm not opposed to that at all.
I'll text him. I'll text him and see what he's doing.
But like I said, appreciate him for coming out, and then once again, appreciate you for coming out again for another episode 2. I'm gonna try.
I'll be here for everyone.
Right. Appreciate that. I'm gonna try to do it on Tuesdays. I'm really gonna try to be like, okay, we're just gonna do it on Tuesdays, so that way everybody knows when it is. Like I said, I had a couple things, and Shawn had to go do a couple things, so we couldn't really do it on Tuesday or Wednesday. So, but this time I don't actually have to upload this while I'm viewing the past broadcast. I'm actually recording and streaming at the same time, so it should be up momentarily after I get done with the stream. It should be uploaded onto YouTube. All I have to do is change up one thing on the podcast or on the thumbnail, and we should have it up for those people who missed. And like I said, I appreciate everybody, including you, Grant, for coming out, and we'll see y'all next Tuesday for our next episode of podcast or Legionnaire podcast. Excuse me. Till then, I'll see y'all.
Bye.